KC Laboratory. Sponsored by Emprise Bank.
Welcome back, guys, to another Matt and Maddie QB breakdown. And this week, we're going to give you guys 3 plays, actually. So we're just going to talk through 3 of the plays from this game that I found interesting, and I felt like letting our good friend Matt Cassel walk you through and tell you what's going on a lot better than I could. So on this first play, I think we have a sprint out to the right, and I just kind of, what do you see when this play starts? What are the route combinations that we're looking for, and kind of what's going through the mind as the quarterback as he's sprinting out to the side?
Right. Well, this is a possession pass, right? They're trying to just pick up an easy 5-10 yards. Sometimes you hit the corner route, but in this particular pass, they're moving the launch point, right? Because the aggressiveness of the Dallas Cowboy front, they're going to move the launch point, which they did a really good job in this game throughout the course of the game, changing where Mahomes was. He wasn't always in the pocket. In this particular case, we're running a sprint out, which makes this play is Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the edge. It's a 7-man protection. They're keeping the tight end in, and Patrick is sprinting right now. And we used to call this route smash. So up top, it's a hitch route, and then you've got a corner route by number 2 there. And then usually, like you see in here, Tyreek Hill running the shallow cross, getting into his vision late. And that's a rare time that you normally will get all the way back to number 3 in this play. It's if you got it, take the hitch right now. But in this particular case, it's man-to-man coverage. The nickel back is playing with outside leverage on the corner. So it's dead right now. So as you can see, Patrick Mahomes is coming out looking for the hitch. He doesn't like it. He's pretty close. He goes to the corner route. It's not there. And he does a tremendous job here of working all the way back to Tyreek Hill. Now, this isn't something that quarterback coaches advise a lot, is to throw back across your body, but there's nobody better at it than Patrick Mahomes in this case, particularly with this guy breathing down his neck right here, throwing an accurate throw and on the run as well.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to go next, because I just wanted to talk about the throw a little bit, because like you said, it's kind of rare to get back to the number 3 read or the backside kind of drag or crossing route here, but then to throw that with essentially two defenders coming right at him across his body, like that's a throw that not many guys can make, and I would imagine if you do that in practice, a QB coach gets a little mad at you occasionally, right?
That's exactly right. They always say, don't throw back across the field, right? And you hear time and time again. And for guys like me, all of a sudden I throw back across the field because I see something and something bad happens. He's like, I told you. But in terms of Patrick Mahomes, this is an incredible play by him because, again, the front side's dead, particularly versus this coverage that they're running this route against. It's not a good route concept. And the only guy that he really has at this point is Tyreek Hill coming back into his picture late. But he's got 2 guys breathing down his neck, but he jumps up and he makes an accurate throw, and it's a positive play for them.
No, usually if you're going to run a smash concept like this and it comes against man-to-man coverage, are you usually going to be looking for an outlet, whether it's a check down to a running back or for this third read on the backside, or is this hitch going to be open versus man coverage very often?
Occasionally it will be open against man coverage, but this is more of a zone beater, right? And if you have like off coverage zone with the corner, when I say that, I mean 3 deep zone, so the cornerback's off, it's a give me. If it's some form of too high shell, usually you can play with that corner. You can get him to collapse on the hitch and then run the corner in behind him. So it's a zone concept with zone principles. However, in this particular case, when you get man-to-man coverage, you've got tight coverage on the hitch. You don't have a great angle on the corner route, and so therefore that shallow cross that's actually on the move is your best bet, but it's a rarity that you actually get back to it.
Awesome. So speaking of zone coverage and hitting a corner route, let's get on to our next play. We got the only completion over 20 yards. I think the only throw that went over 20 yards in the air from Patrick Mahomes, corner route to Byron Pringle against what looks like cover 3 to my novice eye here. So you can tell me kind of what you're seeing from the defense here, and then we'll work over to the offense next.
That's exactly what it is. It's some form of a cover 3. And right now they're changing strengths, right? They go from a 2-by-2 formation, and then they're going to go in motion. Who is that up top? Whoever they motioned over right there, it's going to go to a 3-by-1 formation. So that changes the strength of the defense so that you see the rotation. The weak safety now comes down instead of the strong safety being down right there. The nickel runs through because it's still zone concept. What I loved about this play is just the understanding at the quarterback position by Patrick Mahomes of who he was going up against. This is a great combination up top. You've got the out route right now if you want it. And he could have taken that throw, but he knows who's covering him. That's Trayvon Diggs, right? He's a guy he's ultra aggressive. He's going to go after. He's going to jump routes. That's why he's had a lot of success and a lot of picks. So instead of taking the easy throw right now, he manipulates Trayvon Diggs with that little subtle pump that gets him to jump forward, and he hits Pringle in a perfectly placed ball over the top. And so he uses that corner's aggressiveness against him.
No, and that's great because that was something I was going to ask about, was kind of like leading up to a game when you have a corner that's playing like Trevon Diggs is, with all these takeaways, all the ball production, but you know he's going to be aggressive and he's going to take a couple risks. Do you start to try to manipulate him, and how do you plan for that going into the game? So this seems like it's a pretty good example of just that.
This is a great example of really taking the film study and applying it during the game, right? He understood whether it's a double move or a situation like this, you know that Trayvon Diggs is going to be an aggressive player and try to jump routes at time. So what Patrick does right here is he is able to manipulate him by just this subtle pump, because what does he want to do? He wants to make the big splash play. So he gets out of position. He's really got to maintain, because he's got help in the flat by that flat defender. However, he's got to maintain his depth so he can't give up this play. But because he's so aggressive, he jumps the underneath route, gives up the big hitter behind him.
And we just got one more view of this here from the end zone, which is great. Like, we're talked about the throw cross body on this last play, but then now we have this one. Like, this looks to me like a difficult throw. You got this defensive ends coming at you. It looks like Mahomes has to alter his arm angle a little bit. Like, is that something that you think that quarterbacks practice, is throwing from different platforms, or do you think this is just more of a natural given talent kind of thing?
This is a natural given talent. What happens is on the pump fake, which is something that we all do, we actually drift to the left. So if Patrick Mahomes stays directly behind the center right here, he's going to have a clean pocket. But as he does that little pump fake, he drifts to the left, gets himself in a little bit more trouble, puts his tackle into more of a position to where he doesn't think he's going to be there, and therefore the pressure's in his face, but he just throws a perfect throw. I mean, this is just natural ability. I mean, arm talent, seeing it, vision, and just making a perfect throw in that particular circumstance.
Oh, awesome. I agree. There was a couple throws. These last two throws we looked at were probably two of my favorite ones, just from the pure quarterback spot of this of the season so far from Mahomes. But now we got my favorite play from this game. I think we're coming out here out of a play action off of a counter look, and we get a little short pass to Noah Gray. But I just love the delay, and you have all these tight ends leaking out to the flat late. Like, there's so much going on here. It's got to be impossible for a defense to kind of sort this out.
Right. There's so many bells and whistles on this play, right? You've got the pulling guard. You've got the fullback in the bunch position trying to, or I believe it's the fullback right there, is trying to sell like he's countering, but now he's going to come out and be first to the flat. Then you've got and right now we're still okay. So we got the fullback selling it there. He's going to be first to the flat. Kelsey now is your guy that's going to run like a bow route, is what we call it. Or in this particular case, he's just going to try to run out. It's like an out route, right? So he's number 2 in your progression. If you've got the flat, great. You've got Kelsey. They jump Kelsey right now. And then all of a sudden that tight end who's still selling and trying to secure the inline of scrimmage, he gets lost, and he is kind of your check down as he just comes out late and gets into your vision. So really it's just a pure progression read. It's simple on the quarterback, flat to Travis Kelce going here, to Tyreek Hill on the over. But when that guy flashes right now, he does a good job of getting the ball out and picking up and having a positive play.
I'm going to take a quick break from where the ball ends up going to Noah Gray here. On the backside of this play, we have another one of these crossing routes coming across. Is this a play where, do you think Travis Kelce's kind of supposed to continue to the sideline and he's just trying to feel for an open spot of zone? Because this backside crossing route looks like it almost kind of runs right into him. Or do we think it's just that guy's not particularly in the play much and he's just running out his route?
No, Travis has got to stay on the move here for that exact reason. You bring up a great point. Like, I think he's just being a football player. He's feeling that maybe the play's dead. He's getting covered, so he's going to try to uncover. But in this particular case, I'm guaranteed the coaching staff is saying, you've got to stay on the move, because what does that do? That muddies that window for Tyreek Hill as he's coming over. Now you got 2 guys in the same area, and that's when bad things happen. The corner falls off back into the crossing route when you're anticipating him continuing onto the sideline, and that's what clears the hole for Tyreek Hill on the over. If he stops at all, now it muddies the water for Patrick, and that's probably why he was able to come back all the way down into his 3rd or 4th read and get him that ball.
Yeah, and so, then the ball comes back down to Noah Gray, and I love how they have Noah Gray kind of looks like he's climbing up to the 2nd level to seal it off to run this play, and like he's trying to go chase down a linebacker, then he peels back out, but Mahomes still has to deliver another crazy pass. We don't have the end zone view on this one, unfortunately, but he's going sidearm underneath the defender's arms that's coming at him and still able to get the ball right to his guy. It's just, it's something that I marvel at here, never being on the football field. I don't know what your thoughts on that, but just being able to pull that off is crazy to me.
Right. He's a spectacular talent. We all know that. Physically, he's as gifted as anybody. And at the same time, it's the different platforms in which he can throw from and the different arm angles in which he can manipulate his arm and get the ball at all costs to his guys and create a positive play. Because a lot of guys, you might panic in this situation or you might not be able to get the ball around. And instead, he's always able to somehow manipulate the defender and get the ball around. And we just saw three different great examples, all different types of plays. One move the pocket, one boot, one in the pocket, of which he delivers the ball with success with some form of pressure in his face.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I'm so happy we get to do this every week and break down some of his plays. So, thank you for joining me for these plays. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving, Matt. We appreciate it. I'm glad that we get you on here telling us all about the quarterback position, because if not, it would just be me fumbling around for the last 10 minutes trying to make it sound half as good.
Oh, come on. You guys do great. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Have a good one. And to all those families out there, happy Thanksgiving. It's awesome.